Good morning, folks. This is Randy with DestinationVictorNY.com, and I am here to do what I usually do. This time I'm going to kind of do a run through before the event starts. There's a big event, the Music and Food Festival, that is going to be right here in the center of the village of Victor, and definitely should mention Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. I think right from the beginning they were on board with the event, but they're the presenting sponsors. So in many ways, they've become an anchor in the village and the town of Victor for, locating here, and they deserve major kudos for helping to get this off the ground. Should be a great event. This is the location, but you don't want to try parking here. I'm not sure what the cones mean, but I don't know if the local businesses are wanting parking spaces here. I would think so, because No BS Brewery, as far as I know, will be open. There's some on-street parking. I don't know the circumstances here, but just to go over the layout, most of the parking should be done over at Fireman's Field. So, so this is the location. So although it says public parking, I don't think that will be the case today, at least. Looks like maybe, the U of R, Medicine, Thompson Health. It looks like you could park there, but that's not really for event parking. It's supposed to be for the business. I don't know. Go to the official website, Food and Music Fest, Victor, New York, or Music and Food Fest. Find the website, go to their Facebook page, and maybe they'll have better information. I'm not the planner, so I'm just kind of guessing at some of the stuff I'm looking at and seeing. So over here we have special thanks to our presenting sponsor. So I guess Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, Victor, the Victor location are the presenting sponsors. So they deserve their own banner. I don't know how much they've contributed, but I know they've been on board since the beginning. I like that they repurposed some of the signage. They just basically put numbers over top of it and, repurpose, reduce, reuse, recycle, that kind of thing. So this is a band lineup. 4 to 5:30 Riverside Avenue, 6 to 7:30 State Line, 8 to 10 M80s. So that's the main stage. Food cart will also have a stage, and John Carter will be there from 5:30 to 6 and 7:30 to 8, taking a little intermission. And the Mead Park stage, I guess there's there's going to be a stage right here in Mead Park that is, I think, some of the best. I love their music. JD Blues Band from 5:30 to 6, 7:30 to 8, and it's just got a good feel to the music when they play, so I like them. So not to say all the other bands aren't great too, but and also I believe they're local, which is important to me. I believe the one over on Fire on Main is, well, anyway, let me stop there. So coming back here, repurposed the sign, great. St. Patrick's put up their signs to advertise for their rummage sale that's going to be next week from the 14th to the 16th. I would guess that's with permission of the event planner. So this is Mead Park. This will be packed full from 4 to 10 p.m. tonight. Molly V's, I think they're going to have their cart and also their stores open, I'm pretty sure. But Molly V's and Blue Dog Drink Company, I believe, are open. Now, just as I said, the presenting sponsor deserves a lot of credit for this event. I could tell you if these business owners, and in particular Dominic of Fire on Main Brick Oven Kitchen, was not in on this, then it probably would not be working as well as it is. So major kudos to him also, him and his lovely wife. Was Bistro 11, Two Guys Sandwich Cart. During COVID, he had to come up with something to stay in business. So he did that for a while, and then he switched it to brick oven. Fire on Main, brick oven kitchen, pizza. The pizza is, I don't know, it probably depends on your flavor taste, but it's definitely number one or number two as far as overall flavor. It's got a little bit of a smoky flavor to it, but it only takes 3 minutes to make, so he paid a lot of money for a special oven for that, and it's going well. I think I'll leave it there. You try it out. It's a good day to try out his pizza. So part of the reason it's so important that he's on board is this whole parking lot is going to be full of food carts, food and beverage carts, and candy, and I don't know. You got to look at the website again to find out all of the different stuff. I looked at it this morning, but I can't remember it. This is supposed to be, just so you know, and this is for in general, how this parking space works. This is supposed to be entrance only driveway. It's supposed to be. And then back in the back is where people exit or enter. I think it's exit only. Yeah, exit only actually. However, I don't know how they figured this out, but if this parking lot's going to be blocked off or if this parking lot's in use, I don't know. Do not plan on parking here. That's all I can say. You know, that may not suit the interest of Blue Dog Drink Company, but then again, there'll be so many people here. I don't think that'd be a problem. So don't park here. I can't say that officially. I'm not the events planner, but I'm pretty sure that would be a bad idea to think you should be able to park here. You can't park here. Here again, Dominic just gave his whole parking area over to the event. And you could say that all those food vendors are in competition with him, but he's got the mentality, the more the better. So, and he has such good food, and he's got an inside bar. Today it might even be helpful because he's got air conditioning. This could be a really hot event, so some people will be wanting to just get out of the heat anyway. So that's an advantage over the other food vendors, I would say. But there'll be plenty for everybody to choose from. Now this is the main area of the event. You can't really park here. You can't come in here. I think this is probably open. I'm not sure. Just don't plan on parking really close to the event. I think last year they were doing a fundraiser, so there was parking available in the funeral home parking lot. I can't say that'll be the case this year. Fireman's Field or other municipal parking spaces. All right. So plenty of porta potties. I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 16 porta potties, and a few of them are handicapped accessible. So they're plenty ready for that. With all the different beers, and you've got some microbreweries coming, and this is the main beer tent. Coming back to, I think I mentioned it, but the event planner is like a bright spark. She's just somebody that is going to present something to you. You just want to say yes. She's just that kind of a person. So to say that, she did an awesome job. I'll start here. And after you get an event established, it's much easier anyway. Not really easy, but a lot easier to get lots of sponsors. So this year you got so many sponsors, you have to almost get a bigger banner for next year if she keeps this up. But you got the UPS store, Henrietta and Victor, St. Anne's Community, Quail Summit, the St. Anne's Community, Jersey Mike's, Brick Oven Kitchen, Fire on Main, Victor, New York. Reverse the order of what I just said, but anyway, that's what it is. The Village of Victor, they have to be on board too, and as far as I know, they cover insurance. Right now, we've got the Director of Department of Public Works. I believe it's supposed to be his day off, but he really is into this event, so he's here early, making sure their end is all taken care of. I think the village, between the hours that they use to build up to the event and the hours that there will be some people on payroll today, there's probably about $1,000, which is not a lot to spend, I think, for an event this size. Anyway, going back here, Howard Hanna, of course, the Victor Krista Development, the Thirsty Turtle, which is also open and not too far from here. I don't think they have a vending spot here this year, but I could be wrong. But Thirsty Turtle is right over on School Street. You can walk from here over to there if you want. Maybe the event will be so big there won't be enough room, but that's a good place to go. ESL, Lake Beverage Corporation, beer, wines, and spirits. I think they're going to have a lot of their stuff being sold right here. I'm not positive. Discover Victor, New York. Canandaigua National Bank. Victor, New York. Okay, so Victor Fire Department established 1904. So I think they usually charge for Fireman's Field when people want to rent for to have parking there. And I'm not sure, maybe they cut a deal or whatever, but they're important because they're right here in the area. And anyway, regardless, they're on board. I don't know what the arrangements were for them to be a sponsor, but probably either a discount or free parking at Fireman's Field. But I'm speaking outside of the things I know, so I'll shut up now. The Auburn, the residences at Auburn Trail, the town of Victor. So this right here, last year all the tip proceeds went to the Victor Farmington Library. This year, I believe the not-for-profit of choice that they chose to give the tips to is going to be the American Legion Post 931. So yeah, so anyway, this tent here is for a little bit less expensive drinks. Now the microbreweries, you want to try their beer out. I think the Wolf is going to be here in OBS Brewery. I don't think Stumbling Monkey needs to be here, but they might be here. But like I said, they're within walking distance. So this is the tent area. Get out of the light. You want to be here if you can. I think this will be the best place, but there's no reserved tables, so you just have to come in early and stay. And the first year they didn't have tables, I don't believe, or had very few. So this year it looks like they got plenty of tables and chairs. And this is the main stage area. So they have so many sponsors this year that you just have banners all over. So the sponsors need credit for supporting events like this, and like I said, the event planner is a bright spark, so she did a really great job of getting sponsors this year. Victor Farmington Library, they're going to lose their, probably not open today, I'm pretty sure, but small sacrifice. This parking lot, by the way, is actually owned by the Village of Victor, not the library, Urban Renewal Agency. So anyway, regardless, thank you, Victor Farmington Library, for understanding, allowing this event to occur. Last year I took some awesome pictures of the fireworks right here. I was standing, I think, very close, but right up over the top of Victor Farmington Library. Around, I don't know, be here around 9. I think it might start at 9:30 and it's over by 10. The band usually is still playing. Everybody is a little bit juiced up and party mode, so it really finishes off where most people want to keep it going. But it's gonna be a hot day. Make sure you liquefy, however you do it. Supposedly it's not good to drink beer on hot days, but it's not going to stop anybody, I don't think. But that challenge is something that everybody should just be mindful of. We don't want to have any emergency things going on for heat stroke or anything. So yeah, the Department of Public Works, Village Department of Public Works is in early, getting all the barriers up and getting the last minute things going on. This is my favorite part of the village. Now that the trees are growing up, there's a few that need a little bit of maintenance. The arborvitaes, there should be some kind of fencing or maybe even a wall or something, maybe to deter the deer from eating them, because that's why they look the way they do down at this end. At the other end it looks very regal, very nice. But that is a problem, a challenge that I would like to see addressed. But this park has just become such a beautiful place just to hang out. Some, I've heard in the community, think it would be a good idea to bulldoze the park and start over. I don't think most in the community like that idea. So this is especially when Molly V's and Blue Dog Drink Company is open. I've seen it where I think almost every, if not every one of these park benches had people on it. They weren't all here for just the ice cream and the drinks. A lot of them were reading books and just hanging out with the family or dogs. I even had right over here in this section here, I was here one week and there was a family that just set out the blanket. It was like a full picnic setup. It was kind of cool. It was actually, I think, 2 families I found out that weren't really even from Victor, but they have their child care center here in Victor. So, but isn't this a beautiful park? I don't know. I mean, I think there could be some improvements to it, but in my personal view, and I'm not saying the other person is wrong, maybe, or people that want major changes are wrong, but I think it's pretty nice the way it is. It's grown up nicely, and that tree up front I think should be taken down. It's at least half dead. Rethink that. That back corner, like I said, you already probably need a fence or a wall, so maybe a wall with a stage there would help stop the deer from eating the arborvitaes. But as you can see from here on, doesn't this look regal? I mean, a great choice in the arborvitaes, in my opinion. But we have to do something. The deer come in, and something down at that end. I think maybe a fence, but maybe a wall, maybe a stage, permanent stage, just in that corner. That's about the only thing I could see that I'd really want to see changed. This water fountain hasn't worked for years, but even when it did, very few people used it. It's not in function. There's one on order to replace it, but to be honest, even when it was going, most people don't let their dogs drink out of community drinks because there is something called kennel cough and there are other diseases that are spread. So most dog owners wouldn't use that. So drinking fountain's a good idea, but even during COVID times and stuff and all that kind of stuff that happened then, people don't use public drinking fountains as much anymore. This faucet, I believe, is on and working. So I'll try it out. Maybe they'll be locking it for the day. Yeah. However, you don't want to come here and use that too much. If you're going to use it at all today, just use it as an emergency and don't let it spill out all over the ground, because then the water will just leak or spread out all over the grass, and there'll be people sitting in the grass and stuff around here. So last year it was hugely successful, and not only having an event with alcohol being served, but very family friendly. Walking through the park, there were a few people drinking beers, but everybody was really nice, no belligerent, no fights. Like a party, this is going to be a different kind of party than McGann's. Now, anybody who is from Victor knows about the McGann's party tent, probably people from all around the area, but they would have 3-day events and big party tent. They probably had at least 5,000 a day, or maybe even more. People that showed up, and yeah, so in that case there were definitely some drunk and disorderlies, fights in the parking lot, things like that. That was the way that event was. This is not that. This is family friendly, and that was my impression of it last year. I wasn't sure how it was going to be, but so that's just what I got to say. I know most people didn't listen to the whole thing, but come on out, It should be a great event. Starting at 4 p.m., going through 10. Parking right here in the event area is going to be very difficult. I recommend use the parking that's over near the town hall, over near the village hall, down near the Presbyterian Church, Fireman's Field. St. Patrick's is not open to it, I don't think. And remember, a lot of these businesses are still in business, so don't take up their parking spaces. If it's a business that's actually still open, it's kind of rude. You could get towed to park there. And I guess that's all. So, anyway, that's it. Have a good one.